Alright, I gotta talk about this because the disrespect towards Della Maddalena is getting out of hand. And no, I'm not talking about whether he deserves a title shot because honestly, he earned it. That's not even the issue here. What really bothers me is people acting like he has zero chance against Belal Muhammad. And look man, I'll give Belal his credit. He's arguably one of the best welterweights of all time. No doubt about it. But to completely write JDM off, that's just wild to me. I honestly believe that he's got a much better shot than most people are giving him credit for. And today I want to break down why. And I keep seeing people saying that Belal is just going to ragdoll JDM. And look, I get it. That could definitely happen. Stylistically, it's not a great matchup for Jack. But at the same time, I don't think it's that one-sided. I actually see it going the other way too. Like, JDM has tools that could give Belal some real problems. Now, don't get me wrong, Belal has a lot of advantages in this fight. I mean, for starters, his cardio, his wrestling, his pressure, his ability to stick to a game plan, all that can smother JDM if he doesn't go along with it early. But I also think people are underestimating JDM's timing, his power, and how sharp his striking really is. So yeah, bad matchup? Maybe, but a winnable fight? Definitely. Now, Belal's entire game is built around relentless forward pressure, but it's not reckless, it's calculated, it's methodical, and it's designed to drown opponents mentally. I mean, just look at the Stephen Thompson fight. Wonder Boy, he thrives on space, distance, and timing. He's one of the trickiest strikers to pin down. But Belal, he smothered him. He closed the gap fast. He used smart entries behind feints and punches and chained together takedowns whenever Thompson tried to escape. He didn't let Wonder Boy get comfortable or find his rhythm. That's Belal style. He takes away what you're best at before you even get started. That's what he does, and that style, it works with him especially well against guys who rely on rhythm and timing, just like a JDM. Jack needs space to do what he does best. Use that sharp boxing, pick his shots, touch the body, then come back up on top. But when you got someone like Belal pushing the pace, making it dirty, uncomfortable fight, that clean technique starts to fall apart. Guys stop throwing with the same confidence when someone's in their face every second of the round. Belal thrives in chaos. And that pressure, it works because Belal is ridiculously durable. The guy is built like a brick. He's one of the few welterweights who can eat a clean shot, not just a glancing blow. I mean a real power punch, and keep walking forward like nothing happened. It's not pretty, but it works. His defense isn't about slick head movement or dodging punches like a boxer. He's more of a, oh, you hit me? Cool, now I'm in your face type of guy. Even against someone like Leon Edwards, who has excellent striking and movement, Belal was still able to close the gap and make it competitive early on. But the real difference maker is the wrestling. Belal's double legs are just so well timed. He's not shooting wild, desperate takedowns. He knows how to set them up behind the jab, behind his kicks, or even right off a clinch break. And what makes him even more scarier is that he can hit them going forward or while retreating. Go back and watch that Vicente Luque fight. Belal was literally on the back foot, no momentum, no space to drive, and he still hit a clean double leg. That's not just athleticism, that's technique. Look, JDM's a beast on the feet, no doubt about it, but he hasn't dealt with someone who can shoot like Belal. Yeah, Basel Hafez got in his hips a few times, but those takedowns attempts were kind of sloppy, just charging straight forward without much setups or angle cutting. That's not going to fly at this level. Belal's a different story. He knows how to turn the corner, finish clean, and once he gets you down, it's not just about laying on you. He takes the back, stays heavy, makes you carry his weight, all that stuff that sucks over 5-round fights. However, at the same time, with JDM, there's still a real argument to be made for him in this matchup. Like, let's not act like he's gonna roll over and get held down for 5 rounds. People forget that this dude is crafty. He's not some one-dimensional boxer who crumbles as soon as his back hits the mat. If you actually go back and watch the Basile Hafez fight, there's a lot of those takedowns that weren't clean wrestling losses. They were kind of self-inflicted. I mean, JDM kept jumping for those guillotines. I don't know why he was in love with those chokes that night, but it costed him position over and over. You give up your base just like that, but when he's actually tried to defend takedowns the right way, sprawl, fight, grips, use the cage, he looks solid. There's a moment where Hafez had his hands fully locked on a double leg and Jax stayed away and kept his hips low and even turned the position around. And then there's people that point to the Burns fight like it's a major red flag. And yeah, on the surface it kinda is, but context matters here. JDM broke his arm super early in that fight, most likely from blocking one of those heavy head kicks. So now you're asking a guy to defend a world-class takedown with one broken arm against Gilbert Burns? That's not exactly fair, but even with that injury, he still fought. He still scrambled, used the cage, and made Burns work for it. That's the kind of grit that says a lot. A lesser fighter folds in that situation. Jack didn't. And look, man, I'm aware that earlier I mentioned how Belal's pressure can be a real weapon in this fight, and it absolutely can. He thrives in chaos, smothering opponents, breaking their rhythm, making it ugly, but that kind of pressure can only get you so far when the guy you're walking down is dangerous in every pocket. And that's what makes Jack different. Yeah, he likes space. Most great boxers do. But he's not helpless when you take it away. He's shown that he can still land clean and tight, still dig into the body, and still make you pay when you overextend. And his takedown defense isn't just solid, it's gritty. He uses the cage, scrambles, never accepts bottom. Even if Belal gets him down once or twice, that doesn't mean he's riding out the rounds with ease. Jack's not easy to hold down, and he doesn't settle. And here's the thing. Belal doesn't carry fight-changing power. I don't think he's ever scored a clean knockout or even dropped someone at this level. That matters because when his wrestling gets neutralized, it's going to leave him with less to work with. He's not going to scare Jack off with his one shot. He's not going to make him second guess with his hands alone. And when you combine that with Jack's defensive awareness and ability to return fire in the chaos, it's much a harder night for Belal than people think. Because let's be honest here. If this thing stays standing for long stretches, it becomes a very different fight. Belal's striking has improved, sure, but he's not in Jack's level in that department. Jack's boxing is so clean. His shot selection, his ability to mix in to the body, to the head, to the body, the way he breaks rhythm, it's elite. He's not just a power puncher, he's a technician. He'll touch you to the body 5 times, then rip a hook upstairs before you realize what happened. That kind of precision is exactly the kind of thing that can make a pressure wrestler second guess themselves. And that's the problem. If Belal can't consistently close the distance, if Jack gets even a little bit of time to operate in range, those hands start flowing and the damage start adding up. You saw it in the Randy Brown fight. He doesn't just waste shots. He's not chasing knockouts, but everything has a purpose. That type of pressure passing boxer, someone who makes reads and adjusts mid-round, that's not somebody Belal dealt with a ton, to be honest. And then you got the whole volume versus power conversation. Belal needs to grind. That's his wheelhouse. High pace, lot of output, keep the fight moving. But JDM doesn't need that. He can touch you once or twice and shift the momentum. He doesn't need to land 30 strikes in a round. He just needs to land 5 or 6 clean ones to make you think twice. And when guys start second guessing their entries, especially pressure wrestlers like Belal, it messes up the whole game plan. If Belal shoots without setups and gets cracked on the way in, it can make him hesitant. And that's the last thing you want to be against JDM, is hesitant. Plus, let's be real, Belal gets hit a lot. That's not me even trying to nitpick, it's just part of his style. He eats shots to close the distance, to get into that grind range, and to his credit, it works. But JDM isn't like some other strikers Belal has faced. He's not just headhunting, his combinations go head, body, back to head. They're designed to break you down over time. It's not about landing one big punch, it's about making you regret every exchange. That's a nightmare if your whole game relies on walking forward, tanking shots. But even with all that, with Jack Sharp's hands, his body work, and his ability to land with real precision, you can't ignore how well Belal matches up with him over the course of 5 rounds. That's where Belal thrives, his cardio. His cardio is elite. We're not talking about pretty good for a wrestler kind of cardio, it's elite cardio. Because we're talking about a guy who can shoot double legs in round 5 with the same intensity he had in round 1. And that kind of gas tank matters against someone like JDM, who has never been in a 5-round war at this level. When you're defending takedowns, eating kicks, and consistently being forced to reset, that wears on you. It's not just physically, it's mentally. Every round Belal wins by doing just a little more, just holding the position a little longer. And I think that's going to add up. And speaking of wearing guys down, his kicking game is super underrated. People always focus on Belal's wrestling and his jab, but go back to that Gilbert Burns fight. He just spam body kicks on his arms over and over, and it worked. He wasn't even trying to hide them. He just kept hammering that lead arm, jamming it up. Gilbert's movement forcing him to stay on the outside. That's the exact kind of thing that can mess up a boxer like JDM, who relies so much on his hands being fluid and clean. You start kicking those arms, that body, and suddenly that volume dips. The combos aren't coming out as fast. The hands drop just slightly, and that's all Belal needs to level change and get in on one leg. Belal just looks strong in those grappling exchanges. He's got that thick frame, and when he gets his hand locked, it's not easy to break away. JDM might have a good getup, and he definitely is scrappy, but Belal isn't Hafez or a half-injured Burns. He's gonna be heavier in those positions, more control, and more methodical. You can scramble once, twice, cool, but if he's dragging you down repeatedly and making you carry his weight on the fence or in transitions, that's a nightmare in a long fight. And look, man, Belal's been there with some killers. The experience edge matters. He fought Wonderboy, Burns, Luque twice, Leon Edwards, Damian Maia. These are some guys with some elite striking, elite grappling, or both. So when he steps in there with JDM, yeah, Jack's boxing is sharp, but it's not some new puzzle Belal hasn't seen. He's used to making adjustments on the fly. He knows how to shift gears mid-fight, and in a 5-rounder, those little adjustments are often what separates a win from a loss. So yeah, JDM is dangerous, no question about it, but this fight isn't about sharp hands and nice combos. You see, over 25 minutes, Belal's pace, strength, and cardio and fight IQ make this a very tough fight for Jack to climb.